Hey guys, it's Shara from Woodshop Diaries, and in this video we're going to dupe a popular outdoor project to see if we can build it cheaper than we can buy it. So over the years I've built several outdoor seating projects, and a lot of you have asked if I would build a storage box to help with the cushions, which is honestly a great idea. So while I was searching around for inspiration, I ran across this one. Now this particular storage box comes in two different sizes. The smaller one will run you about $700 and the larger one will run you about $1,000, which is kind of a lot. Now to be clear, there are plenty of like $50 to $100 plastic outdoor storage box options. So the goal of this project is not to build the cheapest possible outdoor storage box. It's just to build one that looks as good as this one, but for a lot less money. So if you're ready to see what I came up with, let's get building. This video was sponsored by EcoFlow. I built this entire project using cedar 1x4s, and I started by selecting two boards to make the legs. One of these boards I was going to rip down, so I chose one with kind of a beat up edge. That way I could just cut it off and get rid of it. The reason that I cut this one board down was because to make the legs, I glued up an L shape like you see here. If I had used two 1x4 boards, one side would be wider than the other. So I ripped one of these to 2 3/4 inches wide so that when I glued this up, both sides would be 3.5 inches. It's not really necessary, but I just wanted them to look even. Once the glue was dry, I trimmed this L-shaped piece into 4 equal-sized legs. Then I trimmed down a few more 1x4 pieces to assemble the box frame. 4 long pieces for the front and back, and then 4 short pieces for the sides. After sanding, I drilled pocket holes to assemble. Since I was building this for outside, I used the Craig Blue Coat pocket hole screws to assemble since they're made for exterior use. After I made the 2 longer sides for the front and back, I installed the shorter pieces between them to complete the frame. Now, I mentioned earlier that the original design that I'm basing this off of came in 2 different sizes. I made this particular box a happy medium size, so it's bigger than the smaller option, but it's smaller than the larger option. I specifically built this box about 48 inches wide by 23 inches tall by 24 inches deep to fit the back cushions of my outdoor sofa. That way I can store them during windstorms. My bottom cushions have ties to hold them in place, but the top cushions don't, and I'm honestly just tired of having to drag them out of the yard every time the wind picks up. It seems like almost every week there's a possibility of extreme winds or severe weather in our area, and with that comes the threat of not only losing an outdoor cushion or two, but also a power outage. As a business owner and a content creator, a power outage can really mess up my schedule, so having dependable backup power gives me peace of mind to keep things running smoothly. EcoFlow is the world's #1 power station brand with a wide variety of power stations fit for every situation. Like this Delta Pro 3 portable power station that offers portable power on the go whether I'm hanging out in the yard, working out of the back of my truck, or just trying to keep my cool during a power outage. My favorite thing about this EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 is that it's simple to use, so there's no cranking, no fueling, no exhaust fumes like you would worry about with a gas generator. You just power it on and plug in. There are 13 output options, including USB ports and standard 120 and 240 volt outlets, delivering up to 4,000 watts of continuous power. The front display shows your usage and estimated battery life left, which you can also check right from the app too. And when it's time to recharge, the Delta Pro 3 offers 7 fast charging options, including gas generator, solar, a combination, and good old-fashioned AC outlets. And it can be charged back to 100% in about an hour. I love that this is compact, mobile, and safe to use inside, so I can easily just roll it right in wherever I need it and plug it right up. And when we're expecting severe weather, I can use this as a UPS for my router and my laptop so that if I'm in the middle of working on something important, like a video upload, the 10 millisecond switchover allows me to finish what I'm doing, save, and then shut everything down before I have to take it to power other things like the freezer. And it's so quiet, you don't even know that it's running. The EcoFlow mobile app offers additional resources like low battery alerts so that you can remember to charge, and it also lets you set timers and schedules. Unlock next level power for every scenario with the EcoFlow's new Delta 3 series. Check out the description below for exclusive sales and offers and links to the Delta 3. So now that we have the frame of the storage box together, I needed to line the sides. The original design looks like a lot of narrow slats, but I was working with 1x4s and I really didn't want to just rip them all down. So I faked it by cutting a curve down the middle of my 1x4 boards. Basically, I just set my table saw height to about 1/4 inch and I cut right down the middle of a few of my 1x4s. If you don't have a table saw, a router and an 1/8 inch straight bit would work, or if you're really careful, you could also cut this with a circular saw and a straight edge. Or you can simply skip this part altogether and just use regular 1x4 boards. There are plenty of options. After I trim these curved 1x4s down, I search my trash can to find some thin scrap about the same thickness as the curve. This will help me space out my boards. I measured to mark the center first, then I glued and nailed the 2 middle pieces using the spacer block between them. That way the gaps between the boards will match the curve width. From there, I worked my way out on each side. Now, you could totally screw these instead of nailing if you wanted. This was just quicker. The glue, once dry, will be what's actually holding these anyway, not the nails. I worked my way around each side with these slat pieces and I installed them so that they were about 1.5 inches up from the bottom edge of the frame. Now at this point, the box is a bit flimsy, but adding the bottom slats will fix that. I cut 5 pieces of 1x4 and installed these along the bottom of the box using pocket holes and screws. If you wanted to add more slats along the bottom, you certainly can, but I'm planning to use this for large cushions and these 5 slats were more than enough to hold those in. Because this obviously isn't a waterproof box, since there are intentional gaps in the sides and there will be in the top, you want the bottom to be pretty open for 1, airflow to dry out, but 2, plenty of open space for the water that does come in to drain out quickly. Now this box just needs a top. To mimic the original design, I made the top with 2 sections of slats and a middle divider. I used a stop block clamped to my miter station to help me get the slats all exactly the same length for the openings. Then I assembled with pocket holes and screws. Now, if you don't like pocket holes, you can obviously assemble this 100 other ways if you prefer, but this works fine and is quick. To be honest, it's blazing hot out here and I was not interested in fighting any glue ups for hours while dripping sweat. So I just screwed this together in about 20 minutes and I'm more than happy with it. The hardest part was just figuring out a way to clamp the pieces flush while driving the screws. Once the top was together, I installed it onto the box using some basic butt hinges. I laid the box on its back to tack the hinges on with 1 screw in each hinge, then I flipped it over, made sure it was centered, and added the rest of the screws. And with that, this box is finished, but I wanted to add some lid supports to hold it open when needed. These simple lid supports worked great, but I do realize that they're not soft close. If you wanted a soft close lid, you can swap the lid supports for a gas strut instead. Just make sure they're suitable for outdoor use. Then I came back and added one more addition that's not really necessary, but I just thought it helped sturdy up the top a bit and add some support. I cut 2 pieces of 1x4 since I had some left over to run under the top slats. I simply screwed these into each piece with some outdoor screws to finish up this build. I haven't decided yet if I want to stain this to match my outdoor furniture or just add a clear coat to keep the natural cedar color. So for the moment, I'm leaving it unfinished. So now let's break down the cost and see how we came out. I used a total of 18 1x4x8 cedar boards, which totaled $166. I used $15 in hardware and glue, and the hinges and supports were recycled from a previous project, so let's just say $10 if I had to buy them again. So that totals about $191, which means we definitely built it way cheaper, like a third of the price of buying it, and it looks almost identical. I did take some liberty with the design, but it's pretty close. I love how this turned out, and it's perfect for containing cushions, outdoor decor, pool toys, outdoor yard games, or just whatever else that you need to store away. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing this project come together, and if you can't wait for more, I've got tons of exciting projects coming soon on the channel, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss them. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and until next time, happy building!